Welcome to the next edition of our Foundation Speaker Series. I'm Jeremy Krupp, and today I'm excited to be able to introduce you to a longtime friend of the Foundation, Dr. Joseph Harford. Joe, as he is known to many of his friends, is the president and founder of Reclamere Incorporated. Reclamere works with businesses to help them protect one of their most valuable assets, their clients' data. Hailing from Cunningham County, Joe is actively involved in his community and local government. A devoted family man, you can often find Joe spending quality time bonding with his wife, sons, granddaughter, and fur babies on Raystown Lake. Welcome, Joe.
Yo, Jeremy, what's up?
Well, I just thought we'd talk a little bit about Reclamere. What exactly does your company do?
So, Jeremy, we've been in business for 20 years, and we work in healthcare, financial services, and the government sector on developing comprehensive cybersecurity solutions. So we make sure that our clients don't have data breaches. And if they do have a data breach, we help them with the investigation and remediation of the breach.
Okay. So how long has Reclamere been in business?
We were founded in 2001. So actually next May of 2021, we'll be celebrating our 20th anniversary.
20 years. That's great. That's great. Almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And have you been in the business for longer than that? Like, was Reclamere, like, were you in the business before you started Reclamere, or how did all that work?
So I'm the founder.
Okay.
So I was the lunatic that decided to jump first. And as an entrepreneur, you just kind of do some crazy stuff every so often. But we began the business planning process in 2000 and then formally launched the business in 2001.
Okay. Now, what made you? Why did you decide to do that? Like, what was your plan? Like, did you have a goal? Like, yeah, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, or is this just like something like the opportunity presented itself and there you go?
So there's a couple things, Jeremy. I'm a really bad employee.
Okay.
I'm probably a bad company advisor as well, depending upon the students that you talk to. But the
Joe,
reality,
some people might see this. I don't know if you should say that.
Well, that's okay. They'll get over it. This is free, so you got to deal with it. So as an entrepreneur, I knew that I always had a desire to innovate and to change things and to figure out a way to run businesses that I worked in a better way. And I wanted to have a chance to try that for myself. I wanted to have an opportunity to sink or swim and to find a way to put the resources together in the team, put together funding and get something off the ground. And that's been the most exciting part, is being able to put that group of folks together and start a business in Pennsylvania.
So when you were then, like, what kind of steps led to this? Did you, like, with your education path, was there something specific that was like crucial to your role? Was it people? Was it education? Was it a mix of everything? Was it experience? Like, what was you got a young person, if they want to do something like this, what's the number one thing probably for them?
The number one thing is, regardless of somebody's age or where they may be in the workplace, they have to really determine, what do they have a passion for? What is it that gets them up in the morning and drives them, that they find to be the best thing that they want to invest their life in? For me, it's about working with people and watching them solve their own problems. I'm not here to fix people's problems. That's not my job. It's not my job with my clients. It's not my job with my employees. My job is to push people on a regular basis to help them through facilitation and coaching solve problems. And when you get the experience to watch somebody have that light bulb go off and have that aha moment, that's worthwhile. That's incredible to me. My educational path was really varied. I went to Penn State University. I got my bachelor's degree. I worked in hospitality for 15 years of my life. I got my master's degree in workforce education and development, and then finally got my PhD last year. And none of that had anything to do with entrepreneurship. It was just about my own particular desire to engage in lifelong learning, because I think that's another part of our responsibility is, it may not be an advanced degree, but you should be looking at ways to constantly challenge yourself and improve your own performance year after year.
And do you think that was a key then in your becoming an entrepreneur, is that you just still wanted to challenge yourself all the time? Was that, do you think that's an important part of it?
Yeah, I think that's a good point to make. I think in addition to not only challenging myself to do better, but also realizing that I'm a risk taker, and I enjoy risks, whether they're calculated or otherwise. And I don't fret over having to figure out whether or not it's a good risk or a bad risk. We collect data, we make an assessment, we take action, and then we deal with the consequence. And we do that through a lot of different experiences with a lot of different clients. But to just simply not do something, to be paralyzed by fear of risk, is not something I've ever experienced.
Mm-hmm. So if there is a student, maybe they've got a passion, yours is you've got the IT field there going on, but maybe there's this design or something else, is there something you'd say to someone who's thinking, I kind of would like to have my own company, but I don't even know where to start. I've got a passion for a certain thing. What's like one little tidbit of advice you'd like to share for that?
I think what they've got to do is they've got to go out and find other like-minded entrepreneurs that are out there. If you take a look, whether you're in Erie County or Monroe County or Delaware County in Pennsylvania, it doesn't matter. There are plenty of resources that students can go to and meet up with like-minded entrepreneurs. They could be in college, they could be high school students, they could be adult students. Doesn't really matter. And have a conversation about the why. It's always important to understand the why of what someone wants to do. So when you say, well, you know what, I think I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to spin up a business and I want to do this. Well, that's cool. Why do you want to do that? Understanding what causes that desire is going to help you with planning. It's going to help you with partnering with the right people, whether it's an advisor, a mentor, or a coach. But the first step, I think, is you've got to find other like-minded entrepreneurs and begin the conversation about why do you feel this way, so you can really start to structure what your next steps look like.
That's great, Joe. And so can I ask then for you, what is your number one motivation? Where you're an entrepreneur, you did this. Obviously, you probably had a motivation then when you started it, and now you're continuing it. So you probably have a motivation there. And so something you want to maybe shed some light on either of those two or both of them.
So the number one motivation for me is I believe that when I take a look at folks that I work with, again, whether they're clients or they're business partners or employees or whomever, I believe that people have a capacity to accomplish certain things. And I think that whether it's being a great financial person, whether it's being an athlete, whether it's being somebody who is in the media, but they have a capacity to accomplish really cool things. What I enjoy being able to do is I don't have a desire or a need to be great at something. What I want to do is I want to be able to help coach and facilitate other people to be great at stuff that right now today they're good at. So as an example, I'm very fortunate to, for quite some time, work with high school students around Pennsylvania through PFEW, and watching them come in, and in a very short period of time, you can identify those students that on Sunday, they're kind of good at stuff. They could be good communicators, they could be good at art, they could be good at finances, but by the time they get ready to compete, they are great at certain things. They have evolved quickly. And I think having the opportunity to push them and really challenge them is what I enjoy doing with people, because we've got the capacity to do it. And if I can help coach and facilitate that greatness, then that's a huge accomplishment for me, and it's very rewarding.
Well, thank you, Joe. Yeah, we do appreciate all the time you put in, how many students you've mentored over the years at PFEW.